Whenever somebody's struggling to put on muscle, it's usually because of one of these 5 things in my experience. What typically happens is, one, they're not in a calorie surplus. So what's a surplus? Well, you need a certain amount of calories to survive and thrive, and that varies depending on how active you are. But in order to put on new muscle tissue, you need to have calories over and above that, over the minimum requirements. So what happens is, it takes about 3,500 calories to equal 1 pound of new tissue. So that means that in a 7-day week, if you want to gain a pound, then you need 500 calories extra on top of what you're already burning in order for you to gain weight. And so, keeping that in context, if somebody struggles to eat or eat consistently, then that's usually their number 1 opportunity. Number 2 is making sure a lot of those calories are coming from protein. So protein is kind of the building block of all new tissue. So whether that be muscle, bone, soft tissue, it's all protein. So what that means is that you need to be consuming a fairly high amount of protein in order to build the tissue that you want to, and that's usually about 0.8 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. For some people, that might be easy. For other people, it might be really difficult. But in my experience, that's the minimum requirements. Next, we need to make sure that we are training consistently. That means 3 to 4 days a week, without fail, every week for a certain amount of time. And then the other piece of it is doing it in a way that challenges us. Now, the body doesn't put on muscle for no reason. It does it because it's been pushed out of its comfort zone, and what happens is it tries to make things easier on you in your next session. So it adapts, it adds strength, it adds new tissue that it tries to, form. It repairs the damage that you've done in order for you to be ready for the next demand that you might encounter. It's important to understand that because you can't just do the same things all the time and expect to change. You need to progressively add more sets, more weight, more reps, change the exercises, shorten your rest times, pair things together. You need to do something different if you are stuck. And so it needs some sort of continual challenge in order to progress. The last piece of this is you need to have enough time, or give yourself enough time, in order to adapt. Most people can only put on, at most, 1/2 pound to 1 pound of actual muscle every month if they're doing everything right. And that means that 1/2 pound to 1 pound also comes with a certain amount of body fat, a certain amount of other things like water. But at its root, gaining 6 to 12 pounds and a little more, maybe depending on what you're adding with it, per year is actually really good. Given that context, it's important to understand that it's gonna take time to change. And so not rushing the process, being consistent, doing those 5 things. And again, what you need is a calorie surplus. You need to make sure that you're getting enough protein. You need to make sure that you're training consistently. You need to make sure that you're training in a way that challenges you. And lastly, you need to give yourself enough time in order for you to actually be successful in that process. All right, hope that helps.